I've helped this ecom brand owner triple his ROAS while doing no busy work and restarting his hobby.
We went from doing around 10 to 15 ROAS on our Google ads. So we've got that up to, I think it's 45, tripling our profit.
In this video, I'll break down exactly what we did together so you can just copy the same steps. My name is James Erdley. I've generated over £1.46 million in sales through my own e-commerce businesses, and now I'm helping ecom founders to scale faster without burning out. So let's dive in. This is the process that we've been through. I'm going to explain all of it, and I've got clips throughout this entire process to explain what Adam went through, what he experienced, so you can go through the exact same transformation. And to start with, what I need to explain about this whole process is it starts with a solo ecom brand owner who is having similar issues to me when I first started. I got myself to a point where I was doing 20 to 50k a month in revenue. However, I was still micromanaging everything and I was reacting. I was not being proactive. So it's still up to me to answer customer calls and live chats and emails and fulfill orders and be there every single day to work in the business instead of working on the business. Listen to what Adam had to say in this clip here.
Our business was up and running. We were making sales. The issues I was facing really was all of the organization in the back end of the business. It was quite clear this was a bit of a bottleneck before we could grow.
As you can hear, he didn't have any organization, and so what he realized was that he couldn't keep scaling in that way. And what he was leading towards was feeling a lot of stress, burnout, and plateau for his business if he wasn't able to break through this. Listen to what he was feeling.
It meant I was very reactional. So every day I was just reacting to the issues that come in or the emails. I was kind of like firefighting, I think is a term people call it. You're just running around putting out the fires, get to sleep, wake up, and you do the same the next day.
And that's not a position you want to be in. You don't want to be doing the same thing every day. What you end up doing for your business and your brand is that you're actually self-sabotaging. You are the bottleneck and you are the person that's in the way of your business really growing because you're the one that is fighting fires, and your business can only grow at the rate that you push it at. And so it's obvious that we're going to have to do some of this initially. We're going to have to spin some different plates because we're solo ecom brand owners and we're getting the ball running. But as soon as you've got this sales coming in, you can see that you've got proof of concept in the market and there's a demand for it. We need to get you out of the way so that we can actually grow. But it's far too common that people hold on to this for too long. So the way that I broke this down for Adam and the way I'll break it down for you now is that we need to understand that as a brand owner, your job is going to fall into three main categories: either marketing, sales, and operations. And we can be even more specific with the type of e-commerce businesses that I run and that you likely run as well. The way that you make sales and you do your marketing is often through paid ads, but you'll also be responsible for email, SEO, and socials. And everything related to driving traffic all comes into marketing. Then we've got the sales aspect of your business, and that will be Shopify conversion rate optimization. But also if you're responsible for live chat and on the phone, that's also a way of selling people. And so sales is everything to do with converting traffic. And then finally, operations. These are all of the delivery side of the business. So this is making sure that your customers has the products that they've ordered. So order fulfillment. It means customer service and returns. So all of the operations related to fulfilling the traffic that you've got on your store is also your responsibility. However, what I've learned is that people tend to put far too much emphasis on marketing and sales for too long. Now, we've got to get it to a point where we're making sales in the first place, so we have to put focus on marketing and sales. But realistically, the level of your marketing and sales is always going to be hampered by your ability to fulfill on those sales. So your business performance is determined by your ability to drive, that's the marketing element, to convert your traffic, that's the sales element, and then to fulfill, and that's the operations element. So you need to be able to drive, convert, and fulfill traffic. However, what I learned, what Adam learned, and what I'm seeing with other ecom founders is that you will only rise to the level of your ops. So your operations is actually the biggest indicator of how much you can scale your business, because you can push sales and marketing as hard as you like. If your systems aren't there to be able to deliver on those sales, then you'll go no further. So let me just demonstrate how this works. So if you look at your revenue along the y-axis here, and you can see how it's scaling over time due to the amount of sales and marketing that you're doing. So the more sales and marketing, the more you can increase your budget, the more work you're putting into driving traffic to the store and converting it, your revenue will increase until you reach a point at which you've reached your operational capacity. See here, this red line is the line at which you have built your business up to, but you can't progress beyond this point because this is your operations capacity. So at this point, you can no longer fulfill the orders quick enough. You can't deal with the customers. And actually what happens is people self-sabotage and they start to reduce their budget or lower their budget because they can't handle the orders that are coming in. So we need to increase this operations capacity. And what we can do with this operation capacity is take specific actions, which I'll go through later in this video, and we can actually rise this operational capacity higher up on this graph. And what then happens is that you can then continue beyond the initial bottleneck until you reach the next level of capacity. And then we push it further and we grow further. And you can see how we'll keep doing this process of increasing the capacity and increasing the business as long as we continue to do the amount of sales and marketing. So what we're looking for is that your revenue can grow beyond a previous plateau by increasing your operational capacity. So you're thinking now, well, how do I increase that operational capacity? So I've got 6 solutions that we went through with Adam, and this is exactly how we basically tripled his ROAS because we were able to put these systems into place, these solutions. So the six solutions, they include systems, automation, outsourcing, onboarding, training, and management. Listen to what Adam said here about what his biggest benefits were.
Yeah, James, it's been huge. So the biggest impacts I think was hiring, getting some people on board to actually help me manage the store, training these guys up, and then getting the relevant SOPs in place. So they were the biggest benefits for me, was hiring, new SOPs, and then training. That really kind of just tidied up all the foundations.
So clearly for Adam, the biggest things for him was all about hiring, getting new SOPs in place, and then training these new virtual assistants. Because what we identified pretty early on with Adam is that he was making these sales, but he had no way of doing this on a repeatable basis where it could be fulfilled without him. He was still the one responsible for making sure orders were fulfilled and customers were looked after. And so his business was plateauing and it was going to be bottlenecked by how much he could do. So he had to get help on, had to get people on board. So we started off by hiring. We actually removed an existing virtual assistant and put in 2 more fresh virtual assistants from my talent pool so that we could get the business that in operational capacity higher so that he had really good virtual assistants on board to handle customers and handle orders. We then looked at training and putting systems in place for them to follow. So I put in 20 pre-built SOPs that into his business that the VAs could follow straight away. I have all of these resources ready to go. If you simply send me a message on Instagram, I'll send you them across. My Instagram link is in the description of this video. Find me on Instagram, ask me for the resources, and I'll send those across to you. More than happy to provide those to you as well. But we put all of these systems into the business, so when the virtual assistant started, they could immediately get to work on the most important tasks because they had step-by-step guides and checklists to complete the most important tasks. So then what happens when we input these systems? Listen to the results that we were able to achieve for Adam.
Getting my time back so I could do more high-end tasks to bring in more money to the business was key. And it's only really happened a few weeks ago, but I've got my time back now. So if I want to go to the gym in the middle of the day, or I want to book a badminton session in the morning and turn up to work at 9:30, I know my team have got it handled for me. So there's a leisurely social aspect to it that I've benefited myself personally.
So as you can hear, Adam knows how valuable his time is as a founder. And because we were able to outsource all of the busy work and hire VAs to handle the day-to-day operations, his time was now able to be spent back where it should be. And that is in high leverage tasks, income generation tasks. So the results that he felt were not only qualitative, but also quantitative. Your results come in 2 different areas. The qualitative results that he saw, they are the more intangible impacts that we can't look at on a spreadsheet, but they really matter to your life. So the things that Adam were talking about is that now he has location freedom, time freedom. This is because we have virtual assistants that are handling the phone calls, the live chat, the emails, and he didn't have this freedom before because he had to be constantly looking over his shoulder for a new live chat message to come in or a new phone call to come in. Also location freedom because he's no longer tied to the UK time zone. Because his customer's in the UK and we can get virtual assistants working on the UK time zone, that's all covered. So as long as he puts in that time just to oversee and manage the business and work on the income generating tasks, he can now do that from anywhere in the world. He now has more control over the business as well and more headspace to make big decisions. So listen to what he said. about the results that he's seen so far.
Yeah, I can just sit and focus without any distractions, and that's always been the real key.
And it's so exciting to see how much Adam has benefited from this process, but not only from a qualitative point of view, but also listen to the financial impact that it's had on his brand. He talked about the ROAS increase, but also that makes such a big difference to his revenue, but also at a profitable level. It's one thing increasing your revenue, but if you're not doing it at a higher profitability, then there's no point adding revenue on for no reason. So listen to Adam's results in terms of the financial point of view.
We went from doing around 10 to 15, I think it was, ROAS on our Google ads. After spending about 2 months with you, James, we've got that up to, I think it's 45, was it last week? Which is phenomenal. It's, tripling our profit.
I think what's so exciting about Adam's results, about his ROAS increase, is that he hasn't had to do any more work to do this. He's had to just be more strategic in how he spends his time. And so by working together with Adam, we identified the things that were pulling him away from the high leverage tasks. And those things were handling customer orders, handling emails. They were the biggest things in phone calls. We pushed those away to virtual assistants who are professionals at doing that work, so that Adam was able to immediately increase his budget because he had more capacity, operational, to deal with the increase in sales. And also because he had more focus and the headspace he created, he actually increased his marketing performance. The ROAS increase. So it's not just extra revenue, it's extra revenue more profitably because of the focus he can have on increasing his marketing results. So more capacity, more focus means he can grow. Now, what I've got to highlight for you now watching this video is that you'll probably have some limiting beliefs when it comes to doing this work and thinking about the results that Adam has seen, and there'll be some questions in your mind about why you can't do it as well. So let me just shaft those for you straight away. So the first thing that you might think is that it will take loads of work, and perhaps you've got it in your mind already that systems is difficult. It's very difficult to find the time in your day to put systems together, and it's loads of work to do that. So let's just listen to what Adam had to say about this.
James, like when you came in and then you just broke down everything into small chunks and you said, look, this is our big task. Let's just do one bit at a time. Actually, in just the space of a few weeks, to a month, in that short space of time, how much work we can actually get through just by doing bite-sized actions every day.
So the key here was that we were able to break down this large task of systemizing his business and outsourcing all of the day-to-day work into small chunks. We made it manageable. We just tackled it day by day, one system at a time, one task at a time. And before you know it, you're out of the day-to-day. It doesn't have to be. Now, I've done this multiple times now. I've got a talent pool of VAs as well for me to rely on, so I can quickly hire high-quality virtual assistants that I've vetted. And you could also lean into AI. The amount of system support that you can get from AI now is huge, and this makes it a lot easier than it used to be. Now, another thing you might be thinking is that it will take loads of time. Well, you heard from Adam already that it only took us working together for a couple of months for him to be completely outsourced. He now regularly gets orders of £10,000 or £12,000, and they can be fulfilled by his virtual assistants. But what I need to explain to you now to get over this objection or this limiting belief that it will take too long for you to systemize your business is, if you're worried about time, think about how much time it's actually going to take if you don't get away from the low leverage tasks. What you might be doing right now is spending all of your day fighting fires so that you only can allow about half an hour per day to actually the business growth tasks. And then if you can only do half an hour a day across a whole working week, that's like 2.5, 3 hours of time that you can put into growing your business. How about if you put work in up front, we systemize your business together, and then suddenly you've got 3 hours a day to work on growth tasks. 3 hours across a work week is going to be something like 15 to 18 hours compared to the 2 or 3 hours you had before. How much do you think that's going to make a difference to your business if you can put that time? So what I question, if you think you haven't got time or it will take loads of time to put these systems in place, think about how much time it will take for you to grow if you don't put these systems in place. And finally, something I hear as well is that systems, you might think that they're just not directly tied to revenue. And so you can't justify putting effort into it because it's not tied to revenue in the same way as your marketing efforts are. My response to this is, what you need to realize is, yes, systems aren't directly tied to revenue generating tasks. However, if you don't remove yourself, you will have no time or headspace to complete the revenue generating tasks. So in reality, systems is upstream from income generation. It comes first. Step 1 is to remove yourself from operations. And then step 2 is to do the income generating tasks. There's no point you trying to push all of your time into income generating tasks when the majority of your day is spent fighting fires every single day. So to remove yourself from operations, I'm here to help. I hope this video has helped you today. If you want the resources, all the solutions that we went through with Adam, if you want those, find me on Instagram. Link is in the description. DM me and I'll send you all of those details. Follow me, DM me, I'll send you those details. Get them into your business and you can also experience the same benefits that Adam had. Now, just to finish up, listen to what Adam said. This is on a recent call we had with the full team, with virtual assistants on the same call. And he was thanking people and he was being really grateful for the difference that he's seen.
I'm going to be around, but like we said, like this is the first weekend where I've actually felt I could kind of take a step back. I didn't really work at all this weekend and it felt really nice. So I just want to share my appreciation for all of you. Honestly, I do really appreciate it. I had like days where I could just step back for an hour. And I just like slept a lot this weekend, went for some walks, and it was really nice. I needed it.
So a nice way to wrap up the video. If you want those same benefits, having time to enjoy yourself, being grateful for the support you've got, and also being able to scale your business, send me a message on Instagram. I'll send you those resources. You can get them straight into your business. So I'll speak to you soon and I'll catch you in the next video.